Science, technology, engineering, and math are made easy. I'm going to show you how to find integers, decimals, and strings in Python. These are the three values that are used in everything. Without further ado, let us begin. So the first thing we're going to do is find integers. So the first thing I do is I assign the variable a value, and my variable is going to be data, and it's going to be equal to 1. So you're assigning the variable, which is data, a value, which is 1. Then you find what type of variable it is. So what is an integer and what does this do? Well, an integer is any whole number. I can make this -100 still be an integer. So integers are just any whole number. And you see the data here? I stored the value in a variable. So when I tell it to print type data, I'm basically I'm asking it to print what type of variable value the variable. So I'm printing the type of value the variables. Maybe I'll make more sense when I wrote it down. So the the type of value that the variable holds. An integer is any whole number, positive or negative. Now let's find floats. Floats are very closely related to integers, but they're somewhat different. So we're going to have data 2 equals 13.4. So again, you're assigning the variable, which in this case is data 2, a value, which is 13.4. Once again, you have to print the type of value that the variable holds. Print the type of value that the variable holds. And this gets a float. Now what is a float? A float is any number with a decimal or a fraction in it. I'm going to put decimal point, and you'll see why for a moment. So suppose I do 13 point, let me go all the way back here. Okay, well, suppose I put 13.0. It's still a float, and if I just put 13, it's an integer. Now we all know that 13.0 is 13 and 13 is 13.0. That's why down here I said a float is any number with a decimal point or a fraction, yada yada yada. So like the example above, -100. If you put -100.0, it's a float because it has a decimal point in it. Or suppose I put 3/4, that's also a float. Now on to the final value, strings. I'm going to correct that, make it lowercase, so the I is up here and down here. So equals cat. And once again, you're doing the same thing. You're assigning the variable, which in this case is word, a value, which is cat. And once again, you print the type of value the variable holds. It's just a string. Now a string is any type of value in quotation. Suppose I put a 5 in here. Well, it's still a string because it's in. If this wasn't in between quotation marks, it would be a integer, and let me show you that. So remove the quotation marks. Now it's an integer. Suppose I put 5.5 and I put it in quotation marks. Now it's a string. It doesn't matter if it's a number. If it's a string, it doesn't matter if it's a number. If it's in quotation marks, it's a string. Even if without quotation marks, it's either an integer or float. So let me summarize this. An integer is any whole number, positive or negative. A float is any number with a decimal point or fraction. And a string is any value in quotation marks, even if it's a decimal, fraction, or whole number. In the link of in the video description, there's a link to my website, so please watch. So please go to that. Please tell me how I did with my YouTube channel. Thank you all.